calls came shortly after 2 a.m. Now, these are not the calls I normally get as a physician about a patient in the hospital. These are calls from the media. And I've learned over many years that when a series of calls come from different radio outlets, it's because something major has happened in the world of health and in the world. And obviously, it was President Trump and the First Lady acknowledging the fact that they had tested positive for COVID-19. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian McDonough. The purpose of this video will not be to talk about the president. It's to talk about you. That's what we're always talking about. I've stayed far from politics and I've stayed far from other aspects of the world except how it impacts you and your health care. Okay, so what do we get out of this? Well, first of all, understand this is a celebrity illness. This is not representative of the entire world, but it will get a great deal of attention. And what happens to the president, good or bad, and we certainly hope good, what will happen will be examined, and there will be dozens of people giving all sorts of opinions. For instance, if the president does very well, you're going to hear people say, I told you this virus isn't that serious. Go on your merry way. If he does poorly, you're going to hear people say, oh my gosh, this virus is going to kill everyone. And you're going to have everything in between. So what you need to do is listen to what I'm saying. The virus hasn't changed. It's doing exactly what we said. If you put yourself in a position where you're exposed to a lot of people, especially if you're not wearing masks, especially if you're not social distancing, especially if you're not necessarily taking all the different precautions, all the tests in the world won't help you. The only thing you really can do is continue to wear a mask, social distance, do the things that we keep talking about. This brings the point home. No blame here, but it brings the point home. So if you're someone who's been on the fence with this, please use this as a learning tool for you and your family to understand the virus is no less serious than it's been before. It's no less contagious than it's been before. We have no evidence to prove it's less contagious. We've just gone through a summer period and we're concerned about a second wave. What about, do you go out? Do you continue to do little bits of things that you were doing before? Shopping while wearing a mask? Nothing changes. Depending on where you live, if you've been taking certain strides to get out there and you've been taking precautions, what happened to the president and the president's team, although certainly getting a lot of attention, will not impact you beyond the psychological impact. So continue to do what you're doing using your local experts and advice of those around you. Also remember, the best protection you have for yourself and your family is your own thoughts and understanding what we talk about on these videos all the time. One last thing. There will be a psychological impact of this. There's no way it can't be because everyone is frustrated, fatigued, and tired. And now on top of this, months of having to either quarantine or stay home or have work change or deal with the financial impacts, there's now the president, someone you would think won't get affected, who has been impacted. Remember, you're just one person. The virus is what we have to beat now. Things will get better. We will return to normal. This is not going to last forever. Just hang in there, and if you need support, reach out to your physicians, talk to them, because if you have stress, anxiety, depression, those things, they're very real, and they're in many ways far more serious than this virus, and don't ignore them.